Good morning from the roundhouse. I had a really interesting dream about talking to this guy on the streets of New York City about a book. And this is a book that I recommend to a lot of my friends, especially people who are having difficulty in their relationships. There's actually two books that are really excellent, both by Patricia. One is called Controlling People, and the other one's called The Verbally Abusive Relationship. And I recommend those two books because I find that they really, really hit the nail on the head when it comes to what is verbal abuse and why do we try to control each other. And usually we try to control each other with some kind of verbal abuse. The book Controlling People goes into why we try to control each other, and it's quite amazing. I never really understood it before, but it has to do with how we have this idea of who we want the other person to be. So, for example, we might have in our mind who we want to be as our companion in our life, and so we find somebody that's fitting that description pretty closely, and that's who we end up choosing to be with. But in reality, they don't really fit this ideal person that we have in our head perfectly because they are their own person. And so what happens is, as they become more relaxed in the relationship, parts of that real person peek out from behind that best foot forward facade. And then when we see that other person peek out that's not our ideal of who we think they're supposed to be, we try to crush that person who doesn't fit so that they can be the person who we want them to be. It's really interesting because I can see that and how true it is. In my relationships, and pretty much everybody that I've talked to have also agreed that that's true. But it's pretty fascinating when you start to look at yourself and other people, because we pretty much all do it unconsciously. But when we can become conscious of it and aware of it, then we can recognize what we're doing and change our behavior and realize that that person is a unique individual and they're not just this imagination person that we've created. And that way we can allow them to be who they are and make their own choices without us abusing them for it. Anyway, check it out. The books are called Controlling People and The Verbally Abusive Relationship. They're both by Patricia, and she actually has quite a few other books that she's written as well, having to do with that. And she's a PhD in communications. I thought that was interesting that she's a communications specialist. So anyway, I recommend them for anybody who's in a relationship, whether it's with a significant other or parent-child relationship. Whether you're the child or the parent, those dynamics come into play. And with anybody else that we're in relationship with in any way, I think that those books are very valuable. Good insights.